What if I told you your greatest gift was also the source of all your unhappiness? The world is made of counterweights, strength and tenderness, order and change. Apply too much of one, and you lose the power of the other. And intellect is no exception. In fact, your reliance on your mind is a powerful example of this simple truth. There are traps that lie in wait, as if designed specifically for the strongest minds. And the irony is, the people most likely to fall into these traps are the very ones who believe they are immune. Like experienced scuba divers misjudging their oxygen levels, they dive deeper and deeper, driven by an insatiable need to know, and completely unaware they no longer have enough air to safely return to the surface. If you never see these pitfalls, it's only a matter of time before you fall into one yourself, in a way only the most intelligent people ever will. If you are watching this video, you are more than likely a highly intelligent individual with the ability to analyze and solve nearly any problem you encounter. You have likely been praised, rewarded, and admired for these accomplishments ever since you were a child. You may even think of it as your most useful gift, crediting it with all of your academic and financial success, and perhaps it is. And yet, your life is hardly problem-free, isn't it? For all your intelligence, many of you still find yourselves searching, day after day, for some elusive underlying answers. Maybe it's for love. Maybe it's for ways to optimize your life, to gain even more knowledge in hopes of what exactly? Money? Mastery? Intellectual prowess? Control? But isn't it interesting how the more you search, the more restless you become? The more you achieve, the more questions you seem to create. It's as if no matter how high on the ladder you climb, the rungs just keep appearing, higher and higher above you, with no end in sight. In just a few minutes, I will share a powerful practice with you to ensure the incredible gift that is your mind will always remain a blessing and never become a debilitating burden. Intelligence is like fire. It can create, it can destroy, it can cook your food, it can warm your home, and it can burn it down, all depending on how it's tended. Eckhart Tolle, author of The Power of Now, once said, "A person's true intelligence is not found in thought, but in the stillness behind thought." You see, many of us come to view our analytical mind as the ultimate tool, as if every little thing were in the realm of our control. And so we use this tool in every setting, to prepare for the future, to avoid foolish missteps. We run endless simulations in the theater of our mind, rehearsing each and every one as if life were a script to be perfected, until every path feels safely paved in plans, and our mind finally rests, satisfied that there are no calculations left to perform, for now. We use this tool to evaluate our past as well, examining each moment from every angle, relentlessly searching for clues and clarity. You compulsively replay those painful lines until you've memorized them, always hoping to identify a new lesson you have yet to uncover, rewinding over and over, somehow addicted to the horror of it all. But you are forgetting something. Something you once knew, something you still know deep down. Let me ask you a question. How many of your thoughts dwell on the events of the past? 25%? 50%? Now, how many of them deal with the future? Well, what percentage is left then for the present? If you are like many perceptive people so often are, you are spending the vast majority of your mental effort and time not in the present, but in what has been and what might be. So what if I live in my head, you reply. Isn't that just how smart people are? The Danish philosopher Søren Kierkegaard once said, "Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced." And this is the first great trap of the intellect. You have become so consumed with analyzing life that you've actually forgotten how to live it. You think and think and think, as if thinking were the same as experiencing. But real life is not happening inside your head. Life is happening here, in your body, in your emotions, in this very moment. And when you trade presence for constant calculations, you don't just overthink, you underlive. Some of you are likely unconvinced that this is even cause for concern. So, let's look at an example of how it plays out in real life. Let's say you've just left a work meeting and it didn't go as well as you hoped. Why did I phrase it like that? You scold yourself. Now they probably think I'm an idiot. I should have stayed quiet. Or maybe I should have added more detail. That was so stupid of me. The meeting is over, but you're still stuck inside it, replaying every word like a broken tape. Or maybe you see a beautiful girl across the room. Something in you stirs. She's just your type, and for a moment, you feel like walking over. But then the calculations begin. What if she's not interested? She probably has a boyfriend. What if I interrupt her? It's too quiet here anyway. I don't want to embarrass her. Within seconds, you've constructed an airtight argument for staying right where you are. But deep down, you know the truth. It wasn't reason that stopped you. It was fear, sometimes even pride, dressed up in the language of logic. And that's one danger of being too smart. You can justify almost anything. Your intelligence becomes a shield from failure, from rejection, from the black mark on your spotless record. But here's the irony. The flawless history you're so proud of isn't necessarily proof of success. Rather, it is often proof of repression and avoidance. This is the mark of the overthinker. And believe it or not, you are robbing yourself of a much richer experience. The next time you catch yourself thinking this way, stop and ask yourself, where am I? What am I doing right this very moment? And if you actually answer the question, you will notice a gentle shift in your attention. Maybe you will notice the rhythm of your own breath, the way your feet press into the floor, the warmth of the room around you. And then you notice her, again, not as an abstract test, but as a human being standing before you. And in that small shift, life has returned. This is just one way to move from your mind to your body. It is easy to underestimate the power of this simple grounding exercise. But if you recenter yourself like this, each day you do, you'll become more and more aware of just how often your mind is filled with anxious chatter. But what if this? But what if that? And here lies the deeper trap. You start to mistake these anxious thoughts for you. The voice in your head says, "I'm not good enough," and you believe it. It says, "They're judging me," and you take it as truth. But you are not the chatter. This chatter is simply noise. It does not serve you. It's like listening to the beautiful sounds of nature when a car alarm suddenly jars you back to modernity. No, you are the awareness listening to the noise. Ask yourself, how can you ever experience reality when the depth of every moment is drowned out by the endless chatter of your own mind? If Kierkegaard's words do not strike you as a powerful truth, listen to his words again until they do, or try this practice and really answer it. because you are likely the very person who would benefit from it most. Another ongoing battle of those with highly developed minds is the tendency to dismiss emotion as useless or irrational. Many of you perceive emotions almost as adversaries, as if they were obstacles to your goals, but they are neither. Emotions are messengers, and just like with thoughts, emotions themselves are not truth in and of themselves, yet both carry vital information. If a thought tells you how you define something, an emotion tells you how you are relating to it. Therefore, you are neither your thoughts or your emotions. You are the one experiencing them. Like a cartographer wandering through uncharted wilderness, your thoughts are the map you sketch, and your emotions are the climate, the blinding heat, the biting wind, the gentle rain. And just like with map making, your designs are not necessarily correct. They are your best symbolic outline of what you perceive. Emotions, on the other hand, are visceral. They seize the body, color memory. You cannot write them down in neat lines. They live in your soul, moving through your body with a life of their own. So how then should you address your emotions? Not as dictators to blindly obey, and not as enemies to be silenced, but as signals to be listened to, with the same mindful attention that you practiced before. When anger flares, instead of repressing it or unleashing it, pause and notice, what boundary of mine is being crossed here? When sadness lingers, instead of drowning in it or dismissing it, ask, what loss am I being invited to acknowledge? You see, this is how emotions become useful, not by letting them steer the ship, but by letting them inform the map. Repressing your emotions will only end in misery. You can numb yourself for a season, but what you bury does not disappear. It festers, it leaks out, in passive aggression, in sudden outbursts you can't explain. Unrepressed grief hardens into bitterness. Unacknowledged fear calcifies into anxiety. Unexpressed anger corrodes into resentment. And soon, you no longer control the emotions you tried to silence. They control you. So instead, treat them with curiosity and patience. There is no right or wrong here, only self-exploration. A chance to ask, what is this feeling trying to show me? And in that moment of listening, you will find that emotions too can become allies. There is another danger in dismissing your emotions. It not only wounds yourself, it can also weaken your relationships. One of the greatest blind spots of the intellect is the belief that logic and math and clarity are needed in every instance. But consider this. What is the difference between a transaction and a relationship? A transaction is an exchange, but a relationship is something more. You must understand, many are logically brilliant, yet emotionally blind. A relationship is not built on facts. A relationship is built on trust and connection, not the cold exchange of data points, but the warmth of being understood. So, when someone comes to you in mental anguish, do not treat them like a puzzle to solve. They are not a patient in a hospital. They do not want your solutions, not yet. Rather, hold them gently in your hands, like a bird with a broken wing. Whether they admit it or not, every human being is an emotional creature. No one is impressed by the size of your intellect. What they long for is for you to feel the depth of their sorrow, or at least to try. So, instead of detailing a solution for them with logic, try acknowledging their fragile state with sympathy. With your face, with your tone, your silence, and your soul. This is the language of emotion. So remember this: your mind is a magnificent tool, but it was never meant to be the captain of your life. If you let it run unchecked, it will pull you into the dark depths of rumination. But if you learn to pause, to feel, to return to the present, your thoughts become what they were always meant to be: a map, not the territory, a servant, not the master. Do not waste your life living in the past or in the never-ending analysis of the future. You are not your mind, and there is nothing but now.